We have breaking news on this emergency batter up show as Juan Soto has been traded to the New York Yankees, and Kyle Higashioka is also going to be going to the San Diego Padres. Trent Grisham is also going to the New York Yankees as well. So the San Diego Padres have finally are off the Juan Soto contract. The Padres are also looking to add Jung Ho Lee to potentially take over one of the outfield spots for the San Diego Padres. And I kind of think Cody Bellinger should be on there too. I mean, Isaiah, it's been, I tell you, it was a crazy day. I mean, I feel like that this was the start of a hot stove here in the winter meetings.
Laurel, wow, man. We weren't expected to do a show tonight, but then an hour beforehand, this breaks. I mean, it was kind of bubbling all day. But, you kind of thought that it wasn't going to happen because midday, you heard the rumblings that, they're still reviewing medical stuff and those things can kind of get tricky. But man, oh man, it finally got done. And the New York Yankees are back. That's what I'm going to say. They are back. I know we'll give our full reactions to this in a bit, but the Yankees are back. These teams, these big market teams like the Lakers, the Knicks, the Yankees, the Patriots, the Giants, in football, they might be bad for a little bit, but they're always going to come back. They're always going to come back, and you could just bank on it that they're always going to come back. So, what a day for Yankee fans. Baseball is always a great sport when the Yankees are relevant. So, I mean, wow. I'm just blown away right now that this actually went down.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Juan Soto was going to stay in San Diego. Now that Mike Schultz is there, it was convincingly enough that it was going to happen. But at the same time, I'll tell you, I felt like the New York Yankees, Isaiah, they're back to winning baseball. They might win the division with this pick here.
Yeah, my thoughts on this trade is this is massive for the Yankees. This is what the Yankees needed because the Yankees have been down the last few years. They've been kind of stuck in mediocrity the last few years, and this is what they needed. They needed to, get their fan base back and excited and, get the good mojo back in the swing of things. And that's why they needed this trade. And this is also a great trade because they got younger. They were kind of this team that was kind of like an older team, not athletic, but now they got younger and they got more athletic and they got rich star power, which is what the Yankees are always known for. And so the Yankees are definitely back now. And I can argue that the Yankees are now the second best team in the American League behind the Texas Rangers. I take them over the Houston Astros because I think that with Juan Soto, I think that, that lineup is going to be super dangerous. I mean, imagine this, Loro and Cole, welcome to the show, but imagine this. You have Judge hitting second and Soto hitting third. How more dangerous and lethal can that be? I mean, that's like LeBron and Giannis on the same team. That's how lethal this is, man. Like, it's just crazy that this went down. And all the Yankee fans out there that were saying, but we have to give up Randy Vasquez or Johnny Brito or, Michael King or Drew Thorpe. Those are prospects. Prospects aren't guaranteed to pan out. This is Juan freaking Soto we're talking about, man. He's a guaranteed superstar, man. He's a guaranteed future Hall of Famer. You give up whatever you can to get those types of players. So this is a great trade for the Yankees. Pairing Soto with Judge is going to be absolutely amazing. And, now you look at the lineup. They also got Verdugo, which we'll talk about later on in the show, but with LeMahieu, with Judge, with Soto, with all the Rizzo as well, Volpe, who had a really excellent second half of the season. With all the bats that they have, the Yankees can be like the Texas Rangers. They'll have one of the best offenses in baseball, but it's going to come down to their pitching. Can they add Yamamoto? Can they add some solid pitching that can help them out? Because besides Cole and Rodon, you don't really have a lot of solid starting pitching. So that's what they need to add now. But what a great trade for the Yanks. The Yanks just vaulted up from mediocrity to being the number 2 best team in the American League.
What are your thoughts on this, Cole?
I actually had myself muted, but I did not see the trade at all anywhere on social media these past couple of days. To be truthful with you.
Oh, yeah. So, Isaiah, for our next topic here, I mean, my prediction is that I think Soto's going to hit second or probably fourth in the Yankee lineup, just because I think in my projected lineup for the Yankees, Isaiah, I have Aaron Judge hitting fifth, Soto fourth, and then third I had Gleyber Torres, and I have hitting second is Anthony Rizzo, and I have DJ LeMahieu leading off.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Boone can do the lineup however he wants, but I'm just amazed now that they can have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto hitting back to back. I mean, think about how crazy that is, man. Like that's insane. Like you have 2 of the top superstars in all of baseball hitting back to back. No pitcher's gonna want to face them. And if I'm Aaron Boone, whatever you do, put Judge and Soto back to back. They have to hit back to back because you're going to definitely scare a lot of pitchers. And, I still can't believe they got Alex Verdugo. And I hope Ben hops on in a bit because I know he wanted to talk about the Yankees' moves. But, I mean, the Verdugo trade was also stunning as well. But, if I'm the Yanks, whatever you do, you have to have, and I think Cole would probably agree with me, you have to have Judge and Soto hitting back to back. It's like having Seager and Garcia hitting back to back, or the Astros having Altuve and Bregman hitting back to back. Like those are your stars. If you hit them like separately, no, you got to scare pitchers by hitting them back to back.
I'd have to agree with that 100%. It just seems like the most common way to do it.
I mean, the Yankees, Red Sox made a trade for that, but now where I think the Yankees rank after the Soto and Verdugo trades, guys, I feel like the Yankees are now the second or first best team in the American League. But I think when it comes to the division, I feel like the Yankees are ahead of the Orioles now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, before I get into that, because I didn't talk about the Verdugo trade, I was surprised that the Yankees and Red Sox actually made that deal because, number one, you never really see the Yankees and Red Sox trading with each other. It's like the Giants and Dodgers trading with each other, or the Rangers and Astros trading with each other. Like, that rarely happens. So for them to trade with each other was very surprising. And also, I feel like the Red Sox shouldn't have done this deal because you didn't really get a lot for Verdugo, and Verdugo is not like a star player, but you still should have gotten more than you got. And I just felt like with Boston, not only did you not get a lot, but you helped the Yankees get better. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what Craig Breslow, the Red Sox GM, was thinking. Like, you're helping the Yankees get better, and that's a thing that Red Sox fans never want to hear or never want to see. So I just don't like that trade for the Red Sox. For the Yankees, I love it because now you look at their outfield. Last year, their outfield was really bad. Now you have Judge. You could put Judge in center. You put Soto in right, or you could put Judge or Soto in center, and you could put Judge in right, depending on how you play it. And then you also have Verdugo, who's a very good left-handed power bat as well. So you have power all over the outfield, and you have guys that are really good outfielders in Verdugo and Soto and Judge as well. Like that, it's going to be a crazy outfield for sure. So I thought the Yankees 100% won that deal. I don't like that trade for the Red Sox. Now in in regards to where do the Yankees rank, and Cole might have something different. Laurel, you probably will have something different. In terms of where they rank in the American League, I think they're the second best team in the American League. I think I still have Texas as my number one because they're the defending World Series champions. The Rangers, they have Seager, they have Simeon. They won the World Series with half their team out, right? And now Garcia's going to be back healthy. You're going to have a full season of Scherzer. DeGrom's going to be back sometime in July or August of next season. I still expect the Rangers to make moves, like maybe get Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell, and maybe get like Josh Hader as well, Jordan Hicks in the back end of the bullpen. So I think the Rangers are going to be a lot better than last season, and they won the World Series last season. Also, Evan Carter as well. Thanks, Cole. But yeah, I mean, Evan Carter, he was great as a rookie, and he's going to get even better. And he put up Juan Soto like numbers, so he's going to get even better. So I still have the Rangers as my number one, but I think the Yankees are number two. I think that next year's ALCS, if everything is holding the way it is, I think next year's ALCS is going to be Yankees and Rangers because you have Soto now with the Yankees. That lineup is going to be so deep and so dominant, putting up a lot of runs. And then the pitching staff, they just got to get some starting pitching. But out of like the other teams you named, I mean, Astros are getting older. They're going to probably lose a bunch of guys. The Orioles, they got Kimbrough, but he's not really reliable in the playoffs. They're still kind of young. They still need some starting pitching. They lost Kyle Gibson. The Rays, I mean, they might trade Glass now. They've been shopping him for months. The Mariners are selling. It seems like the White Sox are selling. The Guardians, I don't know what's up with them. Twins haven't really done anything. So yeah, I would say the Yankees right now are the number one team in the the number two team in the AL, behind the Rangers. And then in the AL East, I think they're the number one team because Red Sox are selling. Rays look like they're selling a bunch of pieces. Orioles are young. They just got Kimbrough. They haven't really done anything. That Soto acquisition really helped boost the Yankees over the Orioles. So yeah, I would say the Yankees number two in the AL, and then in terms of the AL East, that's their division right now. The Yankees division to win.
Definitely agree with that. And also, Cole, where do you think the Yankees rank in the American League after the Soto and Verdugo trades?
I'd say third. The Astros are still a little bit better than the Yankees.
I still think the Astros have a really good lineup. I mean, even though they're old, I still think they have a really fun team that they could still like compete and contend.
Yeah, the Astros actually really showed that strength when playing the Rangers during the AL West division. Well, during the AL division series.
All right, next up here. So the Arizona Diamondbacks have signed Eduardo Rodriguez to a 4-year, $92 million contract. Isaiah, I mean, the Arizona Diamondbacks already have a good rotation with Kelly and Gallen, but you add Eduardo Rodriguez into the mix. I think that's really a good addition to that rotation. And I think the Dodgers might have something to say about it because Eduardo Rodriguez historically does not pitch well against the Dodgers.
I think this is a good move by the D-backs because when they played the Rangers in the World Series, they were exposed because their rotation wasn't really that deep. Remember, the first two guys were really good, Gallen and Kelly. They were really good. But then in Game 3 and Games 4, and then back, I think in Games 3 and 4, which were kind of the games that flipped the series, the D-backs went with a bullpen game. And, it just showed that they didn't have that guy that they could trust, and you need that guy that you can trust, especially late in the postseason. So I like the move for Arizona. They needed to go out and get another top starter, and that's what they did. And they needed to get a lefty because they didn't really have that dominant lefty in the starting rotation. And Rodriguez's numbers have been really good. And he played in Detroit, a hitters friendly ballpark. Detroit didn't really give him a lot of run support, so his win-loss record, some of those wins and some of those losses, I don't really blame him for it. And I think with him going to Arizona, I think he'll do a lot better, especially with the win-loss record. And also, I think he'll be able to pitch a lot better because he'll have a lot of run support, so he doesn't have to be pitching tense all the time. So I like this move, and they didn't really give him a lot of money too. 4 years, $92 million. That's not too bad actually. Like pitchers right now, especially top pitchers, they always get like 25, 30 million. So they only gave him like 23 million, which is not bad at all. So I think this is a really, really good move for Arizona. But I don't think it puts them over the Dodgers. I think it's still the Dodgers division, regardless, because I just feel like Arizona, yeah, it's great that you added another starter, but you also need to add an impact bat if you want to have a chance with the Dodgers.
You're definitely right about that because that's what you need if you want to win in this league. I mean, what were your thoughts, Cole, about Eduardo Rodriguez signing a 4-year, $92 million contract with Arizona?
I'd honestly think that'd be pretty good for their rotation, 100%.
Well, I mean, this is the topic that I've been waiting to talk about. I know, Cole, I mean, you might not have much to say about it because the Rangers are out of the Shohei Ohtani free agent sweepstakes.
We couldn't afford him.
I think the Dodgers, Blue Jays, Giants, Cubs, and Angels are the finalists for it, but I think it's going to come down to two teams. I'm going to eliminate the Giants in that conversation. I'm going to put the Dodgers and Blue Jays as the two finalists for Shohei Ohtani, and I am sticking to my prediction that he is going to be on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I say that because the Dodgers are going to figure out a contract where this 1 year he will only hit, and then they will include pitching and hitting incentives for the rest of the contract that he will get, Isaiah. So, Isaiah, that I am content with Shohei Ohtani wearing a Dodger uniform, and you were the one that wanted Ohtani to wear a Ranger uniform. So we were very different, and that I am still pretty confident that the Dodgers are going to get Ohtani, even though that I heard reports that they've already have met with him before this, even though Ohtani doesn't want private information to be leaked.
I think he's going to go to the Dodgers as well now, because if you look at all the teams that are the finalists for him, none of those teams besides the Dodgers really make sense if he really wants to win. If it was Rangers and Dodgers moving forward for Ohtani, then I think that either he could go to Texas or he could go to LA. But now you look at the teams that are interested in him, right? Cubs, they missed the playoffs last season. I know they got Craig Counsell, but a manager doesn't automatically guarantee you a deep run of the World Series because you need talent. Cody Bellinger's a free agent as well. The Angels, you can cross the Angels off the list. There is no way, no how he's going back to Anaheim, especially with how bad they are. Their team is just trending in the wrong direction. And, I expect the Angels to have a lot of players leave their team this offseason. So you can cross them off the list. If he goes there, that means he definitely doesn't want to win. And then you look at the Giants. The Giants, they missed the playoffs last year. They got Bob Melvin, which I think will help. But, I mean, they need talent, and they don't really have a lot of talent. And I don't think that, they're guaranteed to go to the World Series with just Shohei Ohtani. So I can cross them off the list. The Blue Jays just don't make any sense, Loro and Cole, because you have Matt Chapman, who's a free agent. He most likely is going to be gone. You have Bo Bichette there, Vladdy Jr.'s there. They have talent, but they always choke in the playoffs. And if you compare the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, right? Dodgers with Betts, with Freeman, with Chris Taylor, what's his name? Austin Barnes, Will Smith. They have all those guys there, and if you add Shohei, and the Dodgers have been like a bunch of World Series, they've been deep into the playoffs, NLCS every time. So if you get Shohei, not only can the Dodgers pay Shohei the amount of money that he wants, but he gets to stay in Los Angeles, and also he gets to be guaranteed to be on a team that consistently will be in the NLCS or the World Series. I just think that makes a lot of sense. Like, the other teams just sadly don't make a lot of sense for him. Like, if it was Texas, then I think Texas would have a legit shot. But like Cole said, they couldn't afford him. So that's why they bowed out of it. But now you look at the remaining teams, none of those teams besides the Dodgers just really make a lot of sense. So I think sadly that he's going to be a Los Angeles Dodger. And I want Shohei to like make a decision already, because I just feel like he's just holding up the entire market. You haven't really seen any like movement in the hot stove besides tonight. So if he makes a decision, I think once he makes it, I think that the dominoes are going to start falling. So I think he's going to the Dodgers, sadly. I think that the Dodgers can pay him the most, and also if he goes to the Dodgers, they're going to be one of the teams that's going to be the favorites to go to the World Series again.
I'll ask you this. I mean, the Dodgers just re-signed Jason Hayward. I mean, I don't see him starting every day. We just got Joe Kelly back. I feel like not only the Dodgers get Shohei Ohtani, do you see the Dodgers getting a starting pitcher too, aside from Ohtani, like a Dylan Cease or a Corbin Burns? Because I feel like the Dodgers are probably going to include Gavin Lux in either trade to either Chicago or Milwaukee.
I think they will. I think they'll get either like a Dylan Cease. I don't know about Corbin Burns, because I read today that the Dodger or the White Sox or the Brewers are reluctant to trade him because they feel like they can still compete for a spot in the playoffs. So they might hold off on trading him. But I think that I heard that Dylan Cease, that the White Sox are kind of holding back off of trading him until the Yamamoto sweepstakes finishes, which makes sense because then you get the best offers. But I think the Dodgers, they have to get a starting pitcher because they have to get multiple starting pitchers because a lot of their starters in the rotation right now are really young rookies, second-year players, or they're free agents. So the Dodgers definitely have to get not just one starter, they have to get at least two. And and Cole, you're probably going to hate me for saying this. Don't rule out Jordan Montgomery to the Dodgers. Do not rule it out. And don't rule out Blake Snell as well, because I just don't necessarily think that it's just about the trade market for the Dodgers. I think that if you sign Shohei, that means you're going all in. So you're going to have to go get maybe like a Blake Snell, or you're going to have to go get one of those top starters. And if the Dodgers don't want to trade, they definitely have a lot of money to get one of these top starters in free agency. So I think they will get a starter, whether it's trade market or whether it's free agency.
What do you think of this, Isaiah? I mean, I think the Dodgers, not only they get Ohtani, I feel like they're going to get Blake Snell. I think they'll get Josh Hader. I think that the Dodgers will make a trade for a right-handed starter because I just don't see the Dodgers rotation being all righties. I feel like we're going to get a lefty. I also heard that Dave Roberts is going to have conversations if Clayton Kershaw is going to come back, but it's either Dodgers, Rangers, or retire for Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And that's what I've been saying the whole time is I think for Kershaw, it's either go back to the Dodgers where you've been spending your entire career, or go to Texas where that's your hometown team. And let's face it, the Rangers need starting pitching as well. So I could definitely see that happening. Hader, I don't know, because Hader, I feel like, has a big market. He could go to Philly. He could go to, a team that needs a closer like the Texas Rangers. I mean, we saw their bullpen last season. They need that top starter in the bullpen. So I don't rule them out for Josh Hader, and don't rule the Dodgers out because they need bullpen as well. But I think everything's going to start to happen once Ohtani signs. I think if he makes a decision by Sunday, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to see like the dominoes just drop and drop and drop, and you're going to see like a lot of movement. So I can't wait for it. But as far as the Dodgers are concerned, I think right now, and you can ask Cole this later, I think the Dodgers are going to get Ohtani because none of the teams that are finalists for Ohtani just makes any sense for him. Like, it just doesn't make sense for him to go to Toronto. It doesn't make sense for him to go to the Giants. It doesn't make sense for him to go back to Anaheim. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The only team that makes sense, though, is the Dodgers for Shohei Ohtani. And as far as your question about the starting pitching role, yeah, I see them getting at least 2 starters.
Would that 2 starters be Snell and Burns or Snell and Cease? But I also think if the Dodgers trade for Dylan Cease, I feel like the Dodgers should inquire in either getting an Eloy Jimenez or Luis Robert. But I know the White Sox are not going to trade Luis Robert. Do you think the Dodgers get Eloy Jimenez to play left field?
I don't know, because the White Sox are like a weird team. They're not really like, they're holding back on trading Cease. I heard they're not trading Roberts, which makes sense. Jimenez, I don't know. They're just a team that's just kind of like really weird right now. So I don't know, but I do think that Blake Snell is the favorite to go to the Dodgers because remember, Andrew Friedman drafted him when he was with Tampa Bay. So it makes a lot of sense that he goes and signs with the Dodgers. Plus, they can give him a lot of money. He's a West Coast guy, having pitched, I think he grew up in Seattle. So that just makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Cole, talk about Ohtani here. You see him with wearing Dodger blue?
Honestly, by the way things are going, I'd say yes, especially if I know he may want to stay in LA, and I think that's going to happen. As much as it pains me to say it, it's going to happen.
So you're saying it's going to happen for Ohtani to be a Los Angeles Dodger?
Yes.
All right, guys. Next up, we're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, they added Craig Kimbrell a 1-year, $13 million deal to bolster the bullpen. Isaiah, I mean, I think this is a good pickup, but I feel like the Orioles need frontline starters.
I like this pickup for the Orioles. Craig Kimbrell is a really good closer, but I feel like that in the postseason, though, he blows a lot of saves. And we've seen him blow a lot of saves time and time again in the playoffs, whether it was with the Red Sox or whether it was with the Phillies this past season, or even with the Dodgers. He wasn't really that good. So, I mean, he's kind of like a ticking time bomb. I get why the Orioles did it because they feel like Yennier Cano is better as a setup man than a closer. Their closer Bautista is undergoing Tommy John surgery, so he's going to be out for next season. And Kimbrell's going to be able to be that veteran in the closer's role, which makes sense. But I feel like if you're the Orioles, they should have gotten a more dominant closer. I just think that Kimbrell's kind of just that unpredictable closer, which it never works out. I remember the Giants tried it with Santiago Casilla, where he would always walk a lot of players. He would get guys on base, and then he would make you have a heart attack, and then he just
that was Dane Dunning for us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he would have he was like a Roldis Chapman last year for Texas. Like, he just make you be on your edge of your seat, and you never know if he's gonna blow it or not. Like, that just never works out. So I think that it's a good move, but it's a good regular season move. For the playoffs, not so much. I don't trust Kimbrell in the playoffs.
Anyways, what about you, Cole? What are your thoughts on Kimbrell going to Baltimore?
I'd honestly say knock themselves out. It'll only help the Rangers' path.
Anyways, now that being said here, now we talk about the Braves acquiring Jared Kelenic from the Mariners for prospects. I mean, Isaiah, I think this is a good fit for Jared Kelenic. I really think that he will start to unleash his potential there. I expect him to be the everyday left fielder, and I think that Jared Kelenic is going to be a guy where I think Jared Kelenic is going to have a really fun time playing for the Braves.
Before I get into the Braves, let me get on the Seattle Mariners. What on earth is Jerry DiPoto doing? Like, I really don't understand it. This dude is, the Mariners have a good thing going, and then he trades Paul Sewald, their star closer, to Arizona, and that basically is why the Seattle Mariners missed the playoffs. And then the year before, he traded Kendall Graveman, their closer, to the Met or to the Astros, the division rival, when the Mariners were in the thick of a playoff race. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you have a great team there. You have a great young team, and you're trading from it, even though you're in the race. Like, I just don't get it. Like, Kelnick was a really solid piece for the Mariners. He had a really solid first half of the season. He kind of tailed off at the end, but I don't get it. Like, I just don't get what Jerry Dipoto is doing. Last year or this offseason, he talked about having patience and having patience and stuff like that. Like, dude, the Mariners have not won anything in a long, long time. You always blow it up when they have a good team going, and you don't try to re-sign players. You don't try to, you always trade players. Like, it's like a science experiment to him. Like, I just don't understand what Jerry Dipoto is doing in Seattle. And I think that, we need to have a hard conversation about Jerry Dipoto's job in Seattle. Like, he hasn't done anything in Seattle. The Mariners they've only made the playoffs twice. They've gotten bounced out. Or no, they've only made the playoffs once. They've gotten bounced out several times, and he's always trading away their top players, even though they're in the run of a playoff race. Like, it's just really pathetic what Jerry Dipoto is doing. And the Mariners, you got to start having a conversation. Is it time to start moving on from him? Like, there's really good executives out there. John Daniels is out there. You have Dayton Moore, former Royals guy. He's out there. There's other Bobby Evans from the Giants. He's out there. Like, why do you have to keep Jerry Dipoto when it just feels like he keeps sabotaging the Mariners? Like, I just don't understand. And this is another classic move of it. And for the Braves, I like it because Kelnick's he's been inconsistent. He hasn't really been able to put it all together. But I mean, the guy's talented. He hits for power. He hits a lot of home runs. Doesn't really hit for average. But if the Braves can help him figure out his swing, then I think he can be a really great player in the league. And they also got Evan White as well. I think he's a decent player. They also got Marco Gonzalez, who they traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates, which I felt like that was a great trade for the Braves. Like, I think this is really good for the Braves and a big loss for the Mariners because Kelnick was one of your top prospects, and you hyped him up, and he was I just feel like he was starting to figure it out, and then all of a sudden, you trade him, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts here on Kelnick here, Cole?
I'm so sorry I don't have anything to say on him. I'll have to learn more about him.
All right. Anyways, here we'll talk about Dylan Cease now, folks, and then we'll get Cole for football here. So, anyways, here the White Sox are holding back trade tax and star pitcher Dylan Cease until after the Yamamoto sweepstakes finish. My prediction on Yamamoto, he's going to be on one of the New York teams. But Isaiah, I think he's going to be a New York Yankee. I'm going to say Yankee because I think the Yankees need starting pitching. Although the Dodgers are in on Yamamoto, I mean, he's going to be a dream for every team that is going to be chasing him to pitch for their ball club next year. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto is going to be an ace. I mean, Isaiah, for Dylan Cease, I mean, do you predict Dylan Cease being a Dodger or a Brave?
You know what? I'm going to actually shock you guys. I don't think he goes to any of those two teams. I think the Giants are going to be super desperate because they're going to strike out on Ohtani. They're going to strike out on a bunch of players, and they're going to trade a bunch of prospects just to get them because they need that top player. I think that, you can't just walk out of the offseason with just Matt Chapman and that's it. Like, you're going to have to get a star player or else the offseason would be an extremely disappointing offseason for the Giants. And the Giants need a lot of starting pitching help with just Logan Webb being one of the top mainstays in that rotation. So I think that, Dylan Cease, I get what the White Sox are doing. I think it's a good move that they're kind of holding off on trading him until the Yamamoto sweepstakes finishes, which makes sense. But I think Cease ultimately, I think the Giants are going to just be so desperate because they missed out on Ohtani, they've missed out on a bunch of stars that they're going to trade a bunch of a massive package to the White Sox to try to land that star. So I actually have him going to the Giants because I don't think the Giants can just walk out of the offseason with Matt Chapman. But I mean, for Dylan Cease, Dodgers are definitely in the mix. If they don't get Yamamoto or Snell, Braves because that's his hometown team. Giants, I wouldn't rule it out. Don't rule out the Phillies because it seems like Philadelphia wants to get another top of the line starting pitcher with Wheeler and Nola. So don't rule them out. And I heard even the Cardinals because they got Sonny Gray, but they want to add another guy with Gray and with Lynn and with Gibson there in that rotation. So I could see the Cardinals doing that as well.
And then for Glass now, I feel like do you think the Dodgers have a shot at Tyler Glass now?
I do think they do because the Dodgers, they love the Rays arms because Andrew Friedman is from the Rays. He knows all about the Rays. It just makes a lot of sense. Glass now is a power pitcher. He's a guy that can, he doesn't have the stuff that he once did, but he's got nasty off-speed stuff. So I think that can really play in LA. And plus, we've talked about this. The Dodgers, they need starting pitching badly, and they need to add multiple starting pitching players. So I could see Glass now, but I think that Glass now is more of like a number 4th or 5th priority for the Dodgers because I think Snell, Yamamoto, Cease are like the top guys, and Corbin Burns as well, if Milwaukee changes their mind and decides to trade it.
I mean, my prediction for the Dodgers in this post-winter meetings edition, which I'm going to post on my thing, I think the Dodgers get Dylan Cease, and then I meant Burns, and then I want Adames. I want the Dodgers to kind of – I feel like I want to include Gavin Lux in either trade to either Milwaukee or Tampa just to get Tyler Glass now. Is that what's going to take? Because I also heard Randy Rosarena, his name's on there too.
We talked about what the Mariners are doing. What are the Rays doing, man? You have a great team. Why are you blowing it up? Like Glass now, Rosarena, like all these guys are still under control for many, many years, and you're going to trade them. Like Cole mentioned this in the private chat. It's like they're doing what the Oakland A's are doing, and I think sadly they are, Like, it's just sad that they have this really good young team and they're just blowing it up. It just makes no sense whatsoever. But I think Rosarena, I don't know if he's going to get traded. That would definitely shock me. Glass now, yeah, I think he's going to be dealt. We'll see on Burns. But I do think for the Dodgers, I think Glass now is like the number 4th or the 5th priority for them. I don't think he's like the top of their list.
All right, so now that we talk about football here now, let's talk about our biggest takeaways from Week 13 since we have Cole in here. For me, the Patriots losing to the Chargers 6-0. I'm like, guys, this is what I'm like, Isaiah. Can we end the season already for the Patriots so that I can just focus on Laker basketball and anxiously wait for Dodger baseball? That's how I'm feeling about the Patriots season.
I don't blame you. That was a terrible game. I watched it start to finish because I started Bailey Zappi in fantasy, and oh my god, if you put all 3 of us to play, like we might honestly play better. It was punt after punt after punt. It was just awful.
What about you, Cole? What is?
I'm gonna say it. The biggest takeaway for this week, honestly? Ooh. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to the scoreboard, so let me double check the schedule real quick. For Week 13, correct?
Yeah, for Week 13.
I'm going to have to go with the New Orleans Saints versus the Detroit Lions. That game was mighty close. The Saints almost had a comeback, but they blew it.
Yeah, they did. And then you talk about the Cowboys last week, Cole, about almost blowing the game against the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. And the refs were so terrible on both sides of the ball. Like every play would be a flag. It'd be another flag and another flag. Like, come on, just play the game.
Well, guys, I'll tell you this. So, and then you talk about your boy Trevor Lawrence being hurt, but it didn't look like, Isaiah, that it was a bad injury.
Thank goodness it wasn't, because when I first saw it, I thought to myself he tore his ACL, because the offensive lineman stepped on the back of his leg as he was about to throw the ball. And I mean, it was an accident, but I mean, it looked really bad. And Trevor Lawrence looked like he was in a lot of pain. He couldn't put any weight on his leg, on his left leg, and he had to be like carried off the field. I mean, when players get carried off the field, you automatically think that they're done for the year. Like, that's how bad it was. But I'm just glad that he's okay, because he's a big part of what the Jags are. But now the AFC South race definitely has gotten super, super interesting, because the Texans are only one game back after the Jags lost. And now the Jags most likely won't have Trevor Lawrence for, who knows, maybe like 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month. Like, it's going to definitely affect them. And the Texans, to your point, Cole, they could win the division now because of Trevor Lawrence's injury. And
Tank Dell is out for the season, though.
yeah, Tank Dell is also out for the season as well. But I mean, I feel like losing a wide receiver than losing a quarterback. I mean, losing a quarterback is definitely bigger than losing a wide receiver. But I feel bad for the Jags, because I mean, the Jags could have gotten the number 1 seed. They had a lot of higher goals that they could have gotten, but now with Lawrence being out, presumably like the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, they might not even make the playoffs.
So, anyways, here now, now we got to our Week 14 pick'em. Tomorrow, the New England Patriots are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football. I mean, and I'll tell you, Isaiah, who do you like in this game tomorrow between New England and Pittsburgh? I got to go for Pittsburgh in this one. It's
my God.
Ugly
Is this really the Thursday night game?
Yes, it is, surprisingly.
Oh, my God. Guys, think about this. Tomorrow's Thursday night game is going to be a matchup between Bailey Zappi versus Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, oh, my gosh. If you have other plans, just do your other plans and watch that game. That's like, it's going to be a battle of backup quarterbacks. It's going to be, guys, it's not even going to be, I don't think it's going to be that great of a game. You might see a lot of punts in this game. Like, it's going to be a really bad football game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of offense whatsoever. Having said that, you know what, Laurel? Give me the Patriots. I don't trust Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky is very turnover prone. He throws a lot of picks. That Patriots defense has been playing really good football. It's just that their offense hasn't been playing that great. I think the Patriots defense gets a couple of turnovers, gets Zappi in position where he has a lot of short fields. And then I know Stevenson is out, but Ezekiel Elliott is there. They can run the football with him, and then Zappi just needs to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and just make some short throws, and that's it. But I think this game's going to be like 13-10. It's going to be a really low-scoring game, a lot of punts, a lot of turnovers, a lot of really ugly football. And if you have plans, just do the other plans besides watching this game, because you'll not regret not watching this game. So I got New England winning. I think Bailey Zappi and the Patriots go on the road into Pittsburgh and pull it out against Mitchell Trubisky.
What about you, Cole? What about this game in particular?
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers just because the Patriots aren't that good of a team anymore as they used to be. I mean, you've seen the record this year. It's terrible. And I just don't think the Patriots have the right pieces in mind currently at the moment, especially Bill Belichick being risk of being fired, things like that. It just comes a lot to the plate.
Well, now we go to our Week 14 pick'em here. I'm going to choose at least one game out of the 10 a.m. time slot to discuss here. I mean, which 10 a.m. game is going to be really fun? I mean, you know what? Let's go through all of them here. So let's start with Buccaneers-Falcons. The division is still up for grabs in the NFC South. Tampa Bay is still surprisingly good. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay to win this game. I think Tampa Bay is going to keep their season afloat. And surprisingly enough, Isaiah, and everybody thought they were going to be the worst team in the league. But surprisingly enough, Todd Bowles has really kept this team afloat.
He has, and credit to him. Who are the Bucks playing again?
Falcons.
Oh. You know what? This is a battle of two mid teams. The Buccaneers mid, the Falcons are mid. Their offense is mid. The Bucks offense is all right. The Bucks, what they have to do is get the football to Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Get the football to your playmakers, and that's what you got to do, and let them do their thing. Having said that, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I don't trust the Falcons. Like, I'm not a big fan of Desmond Ridder. I think he's a really good runner, but not a good passer. The running game hasn't really been that strong this year for the Falcons, which is very surprising. And the defense has been a major letdown for sure. And I think with Baker Mayfield, the Bucks defense is not great, but they're kind of like a middle of the pack team on defense. I think Baker Mayfield just makes enough plays to give the Bucks the win. So give me Tampa.
What about you, Cole? Who do you like in Tampa and Atlanta?
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
All right. I mean, this is a fun 1 o'clock, 10 a.m. game here. The Rams and the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens 9-3 here. I mean, they're looking like they're going to win the AFC North. The LA Rams are playing like they're still alive, but I'm going to trigger with the with the hot team right now is the LA Rams. I mean, they started out so bad, but they are 6-6, Isaiah. I mean, Puka Nacua is having an unbelievable season, and I think Matthew Stafford is starting to play good at the right time.
I agree. I'm going to go with the Rams as well. This is going to be one of the fun 10 a.m. games. You know, the Ravens have a really good defense. The Rams have a really good offense led by Matthew Stafford, so that's going to be a fun battle. And then the Rams have a really good defense, too, with Aaron Donald leading that defense. It's going to be interesting to see how the Ravens are able to protect Lamar Jackson. So I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it comes down to the wire. And I think that Matthew Stafford's going to find Cooper Kupp, who hasn't really been doing much as of late, because I think the Ravens are going to double Puka Nacua. They're going to have a lot of attention on him, which will leave a lot of opening for Cooper Kupp. And let's face it, Cooper Kupp, fellas, is still a dynamic wide receiver, even though he hasn't been featured a whole lot this season. So give me the Rams. I think the Rams go into Baltimore and shock the Ravens in a close one that comes down to the wire.
So what's going on, Ben? I mean,
I got to agree with Isaiah 100%, honestly. My goodness.
Ben, welcome. I want to ask you here before we get your pick on Ravens and Rams here. I want to ask you, who do you like in this Patriots and Steelers game? I mean, last week it was ugly. I'll tell you that. I'm at a point, Ben, where I'm like, the Patriots season is done, and I'm kind of ready to kind of watch Laker basketball more, get ready for Dodger baseball with the way the New England Patriots have been playing.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. I'm glad to make it on late here this evening or on the East Coast. I'm just trying to digest the Soto stuff right now. Of course, my rival team essentially having this guy locked up. So obviously, I'll get my thoughts later on. But yeah, Laura, I agree. This has obviously been a very rough season for our Patriots, but I think it's a season that I'm not saying as much needed, but just kind of a season that they kind of needed in a way to make changes because, the last couple of years ever since Brady walked out, they've been fairly mediocre, 7 to 9 wins, which is, for a team like Bill Belichick is okay. But I wasn't expecting it to be this bad, but if it had to be the case to be this bad and have changes, then I'll take it because
the Patriots should have never signed that extension for Bill Belichick. They shouldn't have.
I mean, it's what it is. I think personally that it's more of Bill as a GM is not adapting to this point because he didn't have to be a bad GM when Brady was out. So he's essentially getting the the talent, discourse on offense because our offense, Lauro, is just a fucking mess. Pardon my language, but guys, whether it's Demario Douglas being now out, Ramondre Stevenson's gonna be out for a couple weeks, even though he should probably just shut down for the year. The Patriots have to look at in the mirror and just kind of see if they want to go the couple-year route where they went out, they spent a decent shit ton of money, got Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and won all last season. So in terms of the Patriots-Steeler game, Laurel, give me the Steelers. I just have I could probably be a millionaire at this point in terms of picking against the Patriots for the rest of the year because I just don't see them winning like any other game for the rest of the year. Their offense is absolutely inept. I just don't see them scoring a lot of points throughout the remainder of the season. I know obviously they have Trubisky starting. They don't have Pickett, but it's at their place. The Steelers' defense is very, very good. Our offense against their defensive front really worries me. Short week, especially scoring 0 points. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this game at all. It's just even crazy to me. I feel like it's just been a short turnaround, and I really haven't kind of digested that we're playing now. I guess today on my Eastern time zone. So it would be nice to win one. I kind of feel good about it, but at this point in time, I'm on the all tank. I'm all ready for it. Potentially Caleb Williams or Drake May, and starting this new era team over.
Still want Marvin Harrison Jr. though, because you don't want to pass up on a great wide receiver coming into the draft.
Yeah, I would love Marvin, and I think that by the end of the day, Lauro and guys, that the Patriots have a very good chance to get Marvin Harrison Jr. And if there's a chance to, I would really be up to them getting Marvin Harrison Jr. and considering either trading for a quarterback, whether it's I know that they're floating around Jimmy Garoppolo, which I personally don't, maybe as a backup, I would be okay with, but not as a starter. Maybe they trade for a guy like Justin Fields if the Bears decide to go get out a guy like Caleb Williams. And Bill wants to stick for maybe a year or two. If they don't go via draft, I wouldn't be against it. Kyler Murray obviously would probably be a long shot, but if they want to get Marvin Harrison Jr., I still don't think Mac Jones will be their starter personally. I think Mac Jones at this point in time is a backup at best, and Bailey Zappi. They do not have a specific starting quarterback on this team until they take a look at this offseason. And I think personally they'll find their quarterback this offseason, whether it's in the top 2, whether it's second round, third round. I just do not see it in Jones or in Bailey Zappi at this point.
All right. So anyways, Ben, before we get into football here, I want to ask you your thoughts on the Yankees getting Juan Soto and also trading Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo is a great player. Is there a reason why the Yankees moved on from the Red Sox moved on from Alex Verdugo?
Yeah. I obviously there was the reports this offseason that the Yankees were potentially proposed a Verdugo for Gleyber Torres type trade. We really need a second baseman on this offseason, and the Yankees have really been kind of open for a left-handed bat with contact because they've been really in contact. Their contact hasn't been as strong the last couple years. It's more power, so they want to get some more contact bat based. But I was a little bit disappointed in terms of the return. They got let me see. I'm trying to remember. Pitts. They got a couple other. They just got 3 prospects essentially that are just trying to remember who they were. But I think that Lauro, Isaiah, and Cole, that the Verdugo and Alex Cora tenure is coming to an end. There was definitely some beef there that I'm not going to speculate. But there was essentially a surplus of young outfielders that were starting to butt into guys like Ceddanne Rafaela, William Abreu that were starting to get their opportunities in September. And I think that Breslow saw this as an opportunity that he wanted to move on from Verdugo, and it just kind of happened to be with our arch rival. And it's been a trade in terms of with our arch rival that we hadn't done in a long time. So it's a ballsy move, especially for his first move in his tenure. But that's what it is. For the Soto, the Yankees, it's going to kill me. Especially as a Red Sox fan. It's essentially like Loro, you're like the San Francisco Giants getting Shohei Ohtani, essentially, as a pretty much a generational type bat. And, if he went to a team like the Phillies or he went to a team like, D-back, I obviously be happy for him, but he's going to the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees obviously needed something like this, but I'm just like, it stinks. And like, it stings me because they don't have the Yankee fans out the get-go, especially living in Yankee territory. It's like, my goodness. Like, it's just be like the Red Sox really have to counterpunch, and they have to counterpunch now because the Yankees really, their lineup is going to be scary good, especially this offseason between Soto, Dominguez going to be coming back soon. They have Judge, obviously. Their lineup is going to be a lot more balanced. And, there's also a chance they could still get Yamamoto too. So it's a really good move for the Yankees. They obviously won that deal. The Padres got Kane. They got Thorpe. They got Higashioka. They got some pretty decent size return back. But Trent Grisham and Soto is a generational type talent. And now we're going to have to see, does he stay long-term at the Yankees, or 2025 he just becomes a free agent? And the team, I think if he leaves the Yankees that he leaves for and goes to another team, it would be the New York Mets, because the New York Mets essentially this year, unless they got Yamamoto, which I think is a pretty good option because Cohen reportedly has already gone to Japan to seek his services. But if they don't get Yamamoto, they're going to look at Juan Soto. The Mets are going to go after Juan Soto if the Mets don't go big this year. But Lauro, to really answer your question, it's a great move for the Yankees. It just pains me to see it though as a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you real quick. You think the Dodgers are still in on Shohei Ohtani?
Yes, I think that the Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers at this point, Lauro, could be done by this weekend. I haven't heard anything. I haven't speculated anything, but from what I've been reading in terms of Morosi stuff, I think there's a very good chance we see Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers by the end of this weekend, because I'm starting to see deals tonight in terms of between Soto. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to the Diamondbacks for a 4-year. I just got a text that Jaime Candelario has gone to the Reds. So there's stuff that's going to start picking up more and more by tonight and by the next couple of days. And when Ohtani gets signed, the floodgates are just going to start opening up for all these other guys, because I still think that he's a market, but he is a market among markets because it's just a specific type of player that we've never seen before. So, and I think Yamamoto is meeting with the Yankees on Monday. So I think that if Ohtani goes first and signs by this weekend, Yamamoto will be next week, guys. It's going to be crazy.
We might have
Here's
to do
another
another
thing,
off-season show next week.
Oh, we will.
Juan Soto's first game as a Yankee is against the Houston Astros.
Yeah. So,
but I play MLB The Show. So
the stove, guys, is hot. I know it, obviously.
Yeah, MLB The Show is a great game.
In my MLB The Show league, I have the Yankees playing in Boston, and Juan Soto's first game as a Yankee will be in Boston.
All right.
So that's how I have it. And anyway, where do you rank the Yankees in the American League, Ben?
It's a good question. I know in the East they're probably my. Oh man.
Think about that for a second. For what we said when you were not on the air. So I actually think that the Yankees are number 2 behind Texas, because I think that the Houston Astros are getting older. They have a lot of rotation issues. Yankees, they got younger, more athletic, obviously with Soto. I mean, and Judge and Soto hitting second and third. Oh my God, that is insane. But
especially the short porch there too. I mean, that's like a perfect fit, and it hurts me so bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I have him at 2. I think Cole had him at 3. He still got the Astros, which makes sense. But yeah, where do you have them in the
AL? So I still worry a little bit about the Yankees pitching. If they do get Yamamoto, I think they're my top 2. But as of right now, I'd say probably my top 5. I'd probably go Texas. I'd probably have Texas, Houston, Man, Texas, Houston. Yeah, I might have to get back to it. Just kind of depends in terms of like what other teams do. But Texas and Houston definitely are my two teams I would give the biggest threats to the Yankees, especially Houston because they've obviously had their number for many years. But I think this is a move that the Yankees really needed to do for a while, and they've been prospect hugging for so many years. And they finally, I think the fans just kind of gave in. Like they've had enough. They haven't won anything for like 13, 14 years. And they saw this as an opportunity that even if it's just 1 year, they think that they can take the advantage of this guy, this generational type talent, and, see if they can win a championship this year.
All right, guys. So now we'll talk about go back to football here. Talk about our next game that we will be talking about. Ben, real quick, who you got? Rams and Seahawks. Rams and Ravens.
Rams and Ravens, you said?
Yes,
It's in Baltimore, right?
it is in Baltimore.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. The Rams obviously have been playing pretty decent lately, but the Ravens play fairly decently good at home. I think that I believe they were on bye this past week, if not mistaken. But regardless, I think that Baltimore, outside of the Dolphins and the Chiefs, are in the top three of my AFC. They've just been really consistent all year. They score a lot, unlike my Patriots. They score in the mid to high 20s every game. And I think that the defense from the Ravens is going to cause some mistakes on Matthew Stafford. So, yeah, give me the Ravens. It would be a close one.
Now we talk about Lions and Bears. Well, the Chicago Bears are 4-8, but they're going to have 2 first-round picks. One of their picks is going to be Caleb Williams, but the other is going to be their pick of their own. So I am going to pick the Detroit Lions in this game, guys, just because I really think the Detroit Lions are going to continue their winning ways after losing to Green Bay. Ben, I'll start with you in this game. Who do you like between the Lions and the Bears?
Lions. I just think that the Bears are not in a win type mode. They've been pretty dreadful for a while. I think that, Fields, they won last week against the Vikings, but they don't score a lot. Their defense isn't that great. They just don't have a lot of talent around Fields, specifically consistently. Of course, DJ Moore is, really their offense. But the Lions, they just went into New Orleans, had a pretty good win. I think that they'll be able to find a way to get enough points to win this game.
What about you, Isaiah? Who do you like between the Lions and Bears?
I'm going to agree with Ben. This is easy. I'm going to go with the Lions because of one thing. Lions love to run the football. The Chicago Bears have one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. It just plays horribly to the Bears. This plays horribly to the Bears' weakness. And I think that with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, the Lions are just going to run the football right down the Bears' throats. Expect 30-plus runs from the Detroit Lions, because if you can't stop the run, why are they just not gonna, or why are they just gonna stop doing it? So until the Bears prove they can stop the run, I don't trust the Bears in this game. And plus, with Aiden Hutchinson coming over from the left side, getting after Justin Fields, I don't think the Bears' offensive line can protect Justin Fields enough for him to be able to have success. So give me the Lions. I think the Lions go into Chicago and they beat the Bears pretty handily.
Anyways, now, guys, I mean, let's dive into our primetime games here, just because, it's getting late here, and we'll start with Isaiah's Niners taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Go ahead, Isaiah. I mean, you're playing the Sea Chickens again.
We are, and let me just say this before I get into that game. How about Brock Purdy last week, huh? MVP frontrunner now. What an absolute amazing performance that he put on going back to the place that he got hurt. In this game, it's simple. I'm going to go with the Niners because it's like what I said about the Lions and the Bears. The 49ers are a run-heavy team. The Seahawks run defense, not really that good. Their linebackers always get lost in space, which plays to the Niners' strengths because the Niners love to go over the middle with Kittle and with Ayuk. And Brock Purdy has dominated the Seattle Seahawks in the past, so I don't see why that's going to change. Give me the Niners in this game until they put in Drew Lock. I just don't think that with Geno Smith, with him being immobile, with him not being able to run around, with him not really having a great arm, I just don't see Geno Smith having any success against the 49ers. Give me the Niners to win this pretty handily. I think the Niners, however, come off kind of slow because they're off a really big win against Philly. So they might be kind of riding that emotional hangover going into that game. But I think the Niners pick it up in the second quarter and just run rough sod over Seattle. Give me the Niners. I'm going to say like 31-10. I just don't trust Seattle to put up more than 10 points.
Well, guys, we got to talk about the game of the week, Bills and Chiefs in Kansas City. I mean, these two teams met in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. The Bills have had a rough year, but you know what? I think they're going to play their best football yet. I'll start with you, Isaiah, before I go to Ben and Cole here. I'm going Kansas City. I just think Patrick Mahomes always owns Josh Allen in these type of games and type of atmosphere. The Bills, I mean, if they can't beat Philly, I don't think they can beat Kansas City.
You know what, guys?
The Bills are a complete bunch of frauds, I'll be honest.
Is this
and they literally showed it against the Broncos.
No, it's in Kansas City.
You know what? I'm going to do it anyways. Give me the Buffalo Bills to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. And here's why. Both teams have been inconsistent. We've seen the Chiefs the last few weeks. They lost to the Packers at Lambeau Field because their wide receivers, it's like Tom Brady in 2019. Tom Brady's a great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback. But when you don't have reliable weapons, you don't look good. And right now, who on Patrick Mahomes' wide receiving corps can he trust? There's nobody that he can trust to catch the football and make plays besides Travis Kelce, who they're just double teaming him, triple teaming him because they don't trust any of their wide receivers. And with the Bills, ever since Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator, the Buffalo Bills have looked so much smoother on offense, getting the ball to Diggs, getting the ball to Gabe Davis, getting the ball to James Cook and letting him do their thing. Josh Allen has looked like a totally different quarterback, and I feel like the Bills have looked like a better team ever since Joe Brady took over than the Kansas City Chiefs. So give me the Bills. I think the Bills win this game. I don't think Mahomes has any trust in his receivers or any confidence in them, and that's what's really going to hurt him. And I think the Bills, they go into Kansas City. They win this game. It's going to be a really good game, but give me the Bills to win this game. I'm going to go Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo like 28-24.
What about you, Ben? Who do you like in this matchup?
I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're at home. Yes, Isaiah, I agree. Both teams have obviously had their fair share of issues. The Bills, before the bye week that they had, they scored. I mean, Josh Allen looked really, really good. He's been looking a lot better with Joe Brady. Brady's kind of helped simplify in terms of his game plan. It doesn't feel like he has to go full Superman all the time like Ken Dorsey and some other guys that he was having. But the Bills' defense is, without Milano, is just a train wreck. And I think that the Chiefs are going to run the football. The Bills have a really hard time stopping the run, especially in the middle of the field. So I think that it's going to be a good way for Patrick Mahomes to take a lot of the pressure off of him and rely on that offensive line with Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire to ground and pound. And the Bills also, I think, struggle with tight end coverage as well too. So I think it could be a big one for Travis Kelce. And I think that the Chiefs respond to coming off of a loss. They remind me of like the old Patriots in a way where, even like this team this year is not they feel like the 2019 Patriots, with Brady with the lack of weapons, but still with that team specifically, the Patriots did a pretty good job responding back after some tough losses. So it'll be a good one. But I think the Chiefs are going to win. Give me like 28-21.
All right. Next up here, Cole, who do you like in the Bills and Chiefs game?
I'm going with the Chiefs. The Bills have been a bunch of frauds for a while, especially with their most recent loss against Denver Broncos. I think that's really going to hurt them in the later run. I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right. Next up here, we're going to talk about the Eagles and Cowboys here. Man, this is going to be a fun game. I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, I don't believe what Skip Bayless says about the Eagles being frauds. They're not. I mean, I don't know what Skip Bayless
struggle
thoughts
every game they play in, though.
It's because it's also because the reason why I say that, Cole, is because Skip Bayless is always biased about the Cowboys and also biased about Philadelphia being lucky. They're not the luckiest team. They've had some really good wins, but I really think the Eagles are going to come into Jerry World and get a big win here.
Oof.
Cole, go first. It's your team. Go first.
I'm going with Dallas, honestly. But I can see it being a toss-up, honestly. I can see it being a really good game, both sides offensively. Me and my friend were actually talked about this yesterday, and it will be an offensive game. There's practically going to be no defense at all. So I'm going with Dallas.
Anyways, now Isaiah left. So Ben, who do you like in this matchup here?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, the Sunday night game. I was hopeful that Jalen Hurts was going to be all right. I know that he left like midway through that second half, but it looked like he looked all right. He even got a touchdown at the end to Smith. Man, this is tough because Dallas has played really well, and Cole, I've obviously spoken out there much about my not my great love for the Dallas Cowboys, but I will say that Dak Prescott has been playing like an MVP this year.
He has improved from last year.
He
dramatically.
Now, having said that, does he be able to step up against the better teams? Because lately he's had to go against the Commanders. Their defense, I'm not too, nothing crazy about. He went and faced against Seattle's defense. Yeah, I can give him a little bit of credit for that.
That was an offensive showdown. Let's be truthful.
And, he's gone off against like the Giants defense. My Patriots defense, early on in the season, okay. But I just got to see, I looked at the Eagles game for one example when it was under a minute left when he had a chance to go and win. And then the Niners, he just got blown out. So that's the only thing. The reason I'm having a little bit of optimism of picking Dallas is because it's at home and they've been playing really well at home this year. But it's really also tough to see Philly losing back-to-back games. So, man, this is tough.
Anyways,
I'm gonna
guys.
I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think that Philly, they're gonna get their revenge on Philly. They're gonna split that series, and it'll be like 31-28. It'll be a really high-scoring game. I'm excited for that one, but I think Dallas comes up big at the end. So give me Dallas.
What about you, Isaiah? Who do you like in this matchup between Dallas and Philly?
You know what? I'm going to agree with Cole and Ben. Give me the Dallas Cowboys.
I hate to say it too.
I gotta do it because listen. First off, Cole, I don't really root for the Cowboys because the Niners and the Cowboys hate each other. But Cole, I need your Dallas Cowboys to go to beat the crap out of the Eagles because I want that #1 seed. That's what I want. I want the #1 seed. But going into this game though, Dallas is going to be pissed because they feel like they were robbed in that Philly game because they had the ball second and goal with about 17 seconds left. They were down by I think 4. They needed a touchdown, and then Mike McCarthy had a brain fart, and then somehow, some way, the Cowboys went from being on the doorsteps of getting a touchdown to Dak Prescott takes a sack, bad play call. A couple plays later, they're 4th and goal from the Eagles 34. Like, they moved back literally 20 yards. So it really cost them. So Dallas thinks they should have won that game. That's why they were pissed. But I'm going to go with Dallas because Philly hasn't won in Dallas in a long, long time. I think they've lost 9 straight. And Ben, I disagree with you. The Eagles, I feel like, were exposed in that game against the Niners. The Niners really gave the blueprint on how to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And that is keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. You don't have to pressure him. Just keep him in the pocket, clamp down on his receivers, which I know is a really hard thing to do. But if you really cover well in the secondary and you make Jalen Hurts go through his progressions, he just doesn't go through his reads properly, and he has shown that he doesn't really have that strong of an arm, and that's what the Niners did. And you saw a lot of the passes that he threw were either underthrown or he put too much zip on the football, so that's why he overthrew a lot of the passes. So that's one of the key things on how to beat Jalen Hurts. And then on defense, the Niners showed the world this is how you beat them. You run the football, you attack them in the middle, and then you attack them in the middle with short passes, get the ball out of your quarterback's hands so the pass rush doesn't have any effect whatsoever. And that's what Dallas does. They run the football with Tony Pollard up the middle. Dak Prescott gets the ball out of his hands quick with CeeDee Lamb and with Ferguson, the tight end. I just think that with Dallas being pissed off and San Francisco showing them the game plan, I just think that this game – I got Dallas winning this game actually by 10 points. I really don't think that it's going to be that close of a game because I just feel like that, Dallas has the blueprint now, and they are really good in attacking the blueprint just like San Francisco did. So give me Dallas. Give me Dallas to win this game. Dallas, they're going to be pissed off. And plus they know that if they win this game, they still have a shot at winning the division.
Well, I mean, I don't think Dallas is going to win the division anyways, guys. But anyways, it's a great show here. I mean, what are your guys' final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what a great show. Thanks to Cole and Ben for jumping on. I know it's late where you are, Ben, but I mean,
thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, what a great off season so far in baseball. I know I was telling Ben and Loro a couple of days ago that the winter meetings were absolutely boring, which it was, but
I'm telling you, it takes time. That'll come.
Yeah. I'm glad that things have picked up now, man. And once Shohei signs, the dominoes are just going to fall just like that. And it's going to be absolutely amazing to see the baseball world get turned upside down. But great show. And, man, the Yankees are now back. And, wow, I can't believe I'm saying that because it just felt like last year we were like, man, the Yankees are going to be stuck in mediocrity for years. And now all of a sudden it just changed just like that. And I can't wait to see what crazy moves the next few days brings because I really think Ohtani's going to sign and then Matt Chapman probably going to sign and then Cody Bellinger is going to sign. And, living here in the Bay, I know if the Giants just walk away with just Matt Chapman being their prize free agent acquisition, people are going to come after Farhan for that because they are pissed. And they want a star. And for you to only deliver Matt Chapman, I like Matt Chapman, but for you to only deliver Matt Chapman, that's like the Lakers promising their fans they'll get a star and ending up with, Carlos Boozer and Roy Hibbert. That is nah, you can't do that. You cannot do that. I see Loro's reaction because he was there when that happened to us. So yeah, I can't wait for the next few days.
What about you, Ben? What are your final thoughts here?
Glad to come on. And I know obviously it kind of came halfway later on. But yeah, obviously it's going to be really good. Football weekend. Hopefully the Pats, actually show up and score some points. I don't really even care at this point if they win or lose. I just hope that they actually play hard. And I'm just at such a low bar with this team that nothing can really hurt me at this point in time. Should be really good. Some really good games on Saturday. No, Sunday. Sorry. The college football playoff, guys. I will talk about that on my show coming up soon because I know that obviously that had a lot of craziness that happened. We got Bama against Michigan, and then we have sorry, I'm literally drawing up like the other one.
Oh, Texas and Washington.
Thank you. Man, it's almost 1:30 here. So yeah, I'm excited for college football playoffs and all that fun bowl games coming up soon. But yeah, baseball is obviously really on my mind at this point right now. Just craziness in terms of what's going on. And like Isaiah mentioned, we're kind of starting to get to some of the mid-tier type of players. Of course, the Soto trade, I think, was pretty inevitable before Ohtani and Yamamoto and stuff like that, because I don't think that the Yankees, unfortunately, are done. I think that they're really trying to go after some high other free agents and other trade candidates. So hopefully the Red Sox counterpart with making some pretty good moves. I still hope that Russell will do some stuff. But it should be really exciting. I'm really excited, and this weekend should just have a lot of great sports. My UConn basketball. Shout out to UConn. They beat UNC at MSG. We've been rocking and owning MSG for a while, so that's been great. And yeah, it's a good show. And you guys have a good weekend. For my show specifically, I'll try to have a Kicking with Curse MLB winter meetings hot show, and shout out to Isaiah for the intro. Probably this weekend. I just don't know specifically the day yet.
Yeah, and Cole, before you go on your final thoughts, I just have one more announcement, is that next week we probably will do a hot stove show again, because most likely, like we said tonight, Ohtani's going to be signing, Chapman's going to be signing, Bellinger's going to be signing. Like, all the dominoes that were supposed to fall tonight or this week is most likely going to be falling next week. So expect something, maybe like a batter up special, who knows, coming up next week. And then one last thing I do have to say is, appreciate you fellas and appreciate you, Loro, for not bringing up the Broncos game, because I know I had some egg on my face after I said that CJ Stroud is going to get absolutely exposed, and the Broncos are going to expose CJ Stroud. And credit to CJ Stroud, I'll give him that he definitely humbled me on Sunday.
CJ Stroud is such an excellent quarterback, to be honest.
Anyways, guys, that's going to do it here for this special, and we will leave you with this.